What's up guys, it's ESO here and welcome to the ultimate fisting power build in Skyrim. This guide will teach you how to punch a dragon in the face until it dies. This build contains extreme amounts of fun. It's actually one of the most effective ways to start the game, doing way more damage than any other class. It also has mad late game potential to wreck, so whether you're level 3 or 50, your punches will still do insane amounts of damage. But before I tell you about the build, I must first bore you with the backstory. You're a badass pussycat who does not give a shit. Story over, goodbye the end. Now the boring stuff is over, let's get on with the build. The best race for the unarmed playstyle is the Khajiit. Pick the Khajiit because it has an ability that gives it 12 damage in unarmed combat. On top of that, it has the animal ability, like the Argonian, so they get another 10 points of damage. That means that as soon as you start the game, you do 22 damage with your unarmed attacks. That's fucking ridiculous. Now just to let you know, that's more than most unimproved weapons you'll find in the game. Just to put that in perspective for you, a Dragonbone sword does 15 points of damage, so you're already doing more damage than with one of the best swords available to you in the game. But that's excluding smithing or enchanting, for now. So basically, by just using your fists, you're a complete badass. Don't choose another race because other races only do 4 damage with their unarmed attacks, which is pitiful. So pick the cat. Now, before you do anything else, I'm going to tell you about the skills and armor that you'll want to use. Firstly, you'll want to use heavy armor. You're going to be up close and in their face. I highly recommend eventually getting all the perks in the heavy armor skill tree. They're all going to be pretty damn useful to you. But the most important one that you'll need to get as soon as possible is the Fists of Steel perk. This perk basically means that the armor you get for your gauntlets adds on to your damage as well. So for example, the best gauntlets in the game, the Daedric gauntlets, better than Dragon gauntlets, gives you a total of 18 armor. This now gives you plus 18 damage too. So you're doing 40 damage in total so far. That's more damage than any weapon in the game. Now some people think that by smithing and improving your gauntlet's armor rating at a forge, it will increase the damage you do. Just to be clear, it does not work like that. So the max damage you will get from the gauntlets is 18. However, that said, I do recommend using the smithing skill to improve your armor anyway, so you can reach the armor cap of 542 for 80% damage reduction. Now let's talk about the one-handed skill. It's fucking useless to us. It does not increase the damage you do with your fists. You can actually skip this skill completely if you like. You will still hit like a truck without it, but if you do want to maximize your damage, you can use it. So just put 1 point into the one-handed skill, then get the dual flurry perk. You'll need this for ultimate fisting fury of impending doom. That makes your attacks faster by the way, so you can spin your fists around like a windmill. To be mathematically correct, it's 35% faster. And when you get dual savagery, your power attacks do 50% bonus damage. So with dual power attacks, you hit at 60 damage 4 times over in a couple of seconds for a total of 240 damage. Hell yeah. The only thing is that because the game makes no sense, using your unarmed attacks will not level your one-handed skill. So you'll have to train it separately using weapons. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Weapons are for pussies. No, I don't mean the cats. We're manly as hell. I already made a guide on how to level up your skills quickly, so that you don't have to waste your time. To be honest, you can get away with not having these perks, but you will lose out on damage if you don't. Next thing we need to do, for even more fisting power, is to get the unarmed enchantment. This can be found really easily, but there's only one place you can find it in the game. And I already made a video about how to get it. So if you don't have it yet, go and get that right now. A link to the video is in the description of this one, so go check it out. After you have the unique unarmed gloves, or Fistus Maximus, go to Dragonreach in Whiterun. It's just here on the map. Head inside and go to the Mage's Quarters. Get yourself on that enchanting altar and disenchant the gauntlets. Now you know the Fortify one-handed enchantment. Great job. Just enchant your gauntlets with the effect. With a decent enchanting skill you can increase your damage by 12 per item. Enchant your ring too. As for the rest of your armour, it's really up to you. I recommend using Fortify Stamina and Health though. So you now should have the gauntlets and a ring enchanted with Fortify one-handed, giving you a total of 24 more damage. Add that on top of our current damage, assuming that you did not use or level your one-handed skill. It gives you a fist to the face 64 damage a hit. Also, bear in mind that you're attacking really fast, so your damage per second is fantastic. Congratulations, you now hit like a truck. You can enter any bar in Skyrim, challenge anyone to a duel, and accidentally but legally kill your opponent in one hit to the face. Heck, you can even punch giants and dragons to death. Nothing can stop you now. Now I just want to talk about shouts quickly. There are some battles that are understandably quite hard if you're just using your fists, especially as you can see in the video when you're killing giants or mammoths at higher difficulties. So firstly, we have the Dragon Aspect Shout. I'm not actually using it in the video, but this shout at full power will increase your power attack damage by a further 25%. That's huge. It will also increase your armor by 125% and an impressive 25% increase for fire resistance and frost resistance. So those mages won't be bothering you anymore. It also reduces your shout cooldown by 20%. All these bonuses are so helpful. In particular are power attacks, because they're so damn fast. I highly recommend checking out my unlimited stamina guide too, which will allow you to make full use of unlimited power attacks. I'll leave a link to that video in the description. So you'll probably have the Dragon Aspect Shout active as often as possible. You can find all the locations of these shouts in the description, by the way. Another really useful shout is the Mark for Death shout. This will reduce your target's armor by 75. This pretty much makes every hit that you do hit like a truck. It's effective against anything in the game. Just use this before you start the fight and then go to town on them. You'll find that enemies who use shields can be quite troublesome because they can block your attacks, so just use the Disarm shout. This will put you on a more even playing field. Well, not for them, but definitely for you. Another way of doing this is to just use the Unrelenting Force shout to blow the bitches off their feet, and then fist them while they're down. Even though this build is really fun to play and a great laugh, and viable, I recommend checking out my Werewolf build, which is pretty much a more overpowered version of this one, but with less armor. The good thing is that you can still punch people in the face with this half of the build, but when you get bored, you can transform into a werewolf and slaughter the entire village. I really hope you guys enjoyed this build. I had a lot of fun making this one. Make sure you subscribe for more Skyrim builds, and I'll see you in the next guide.